Good morning. So today we'll be going over Megilat Eicha, part 9. Beshem Hashem Naaseh Venatzliach. This shiur is for Refuah Shlema to Avraham ben Chana, Shimon Daniel ben Michal, Hatinok ben Natalie Hadassah, Rafael Chaim Meir ben Sima Chasha, Ora Badalia, and for all our soldiers to come home safely, and for the safety of Am Yisrael wherever they are. For all singles to meet their true partners in life, שיזכו לבנות בית נאמן בישראל soon, and לעילוי נשמת רחל בת יעקב, יעל בת מנוחה שמחה, נהיד שרה בת אירן, Mazal bat Frida, Leticia bat Zahra, Yehoshua ben Zahra Vishto. Thank you, Hashem, for all your chasadim that you have done with us in the past, and will continue to do so in the future. Thank you to all listeners for your support. Please leave comments and subscribe to the video so the Torah will spread even more. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And I would love to hear some comments, something from you. So to recap, yesterday's last shiur, we learned about Paras and Bavel, Iraq and Persia. Then King Koresh, the king of Persia, was ready to pay all the expenses for building the Bet HaMikdash. However, not everyone agreed with him. So when the Goyim heard that Bnei Israel were returning home and started to build the Bet HaMikdash, they decided to trick Bnei Israel. So they came to Zerubbabel, who was the governor, and told him that they wanted to help build the Bet HaMikdash. But Zerubbabel pushed them off, and he said, "This is our Bet HaMikdash. It's our duty and mitzvah to build it. It's not yours, so you cannot help us." But the Goyim these people did not really give up. What did they do? So they decided to sabotage the building. They would talk to the builders and tell them that they're wasting their time. It's not going to last. And sometimes they would they would discourage them, the builders, by saying how difficult and dangerous the construction was, and why should they bother at all. And sometimes they used to hire people to come and do some damage, sabotage the construction site. They also succeeded to influence Koresh. For what? To stop the construction of the Bet HaMikdash. So the obvious question is, how were they able to do it? How were they able to stop the construction? So Koresh, the king, used to have an expert scribe, right? When he would be dictating his letters or his laws that he wanted to put out. And this scribe was working with a linguist. So these two were with Koresh, as Koresh would be dictating whatever he wanted to dictate. And this way, Koresh made sure that whatever came out of the palace was clear and there was no mistake in there, and everyone then would be translated in the different languages, and everyone would understand what the law is all about, or what the letter is all about. And any mistake from their part, from these two scribes, then it would cost them their lives. However, those people who wanted to stop the building of the Bet HaMikdash, they were able to work together hand in hand with the scribes. And they wanted to send a letter of complaint to Koresh. But they couldn't say, we're not happy that you gave the go-ahead for building the Bet HaMikdash. So what did they do? They wrote that the Jews actually are not building the Bet HaMikdash. They really are building the Homa, the wall around Yerushalayim, with the intentions of fortifying the place, Yerushalayim, so that this way they could rebel against Koresh. And also what they did to make the king really believe their words, Chachamim tell us, if you want a lie to be accepted, to be believed, so you put a little bit of truth in it. So what did they do? They also said, because of the wall that they have around Yerushalayim, it needed to be fixed, right? But the wall that they always had a wall around Yerushalayim, and that was to fight the kings. Any king who ruled over them, they would just go and fight and rebel against that king. So what did they do? Koresh said in that case, you may not build this. He sent a second letter and he said, you may not build the Homa. But Ben Yisrael did not build the Homa. They were building the Bet HaMikdash, right? And what did he do? He did not even check whether it was true or not, but he did look into the history books to see, is it true that there was always a Homa in Yerushalayim, and always the people of Yerushalayim were able to fight back and rebel against the kings? And yes, he found out that yes, this is really what happened. So Shimshi ben Haman, Shimshi the son of Haman, remember this is before the story of Purim, he was the linguist of the king. So he wrote that not only the construction must stop in Yerushalayim, but also the construction of the Bet HaMikdash. And all those who opposed the construction, what did they do? They traveled right away with force, like with weapons and really ready to fight. And they told the Jews, you have to stop right away. Not in a month, not in 2 months, not next week, but now, as of now, as soon as they got to Yerushalayim, you have got to stop the construction of the Bet HaMikdash. So Bet HaMikdash, the second Bet HaMikdash, was stopped. Koresh died. And after him came Achashverosh. Now we know that Achashverosh also did not give permission because the people would not allow. Also, his wife Vashti was very much against it. She said, you cannot build a Bet HaMikdash, something that my grandfather, because her grandfather was Nebuchadnezzar, he destroyed it. You cannot go and build it. So Achashverosh did not build it. The next king came Daryavesh. Daryavesh did give permission for the Bet HaMikdash to be completed, and it was completed on Gimel Adar. They celebrated for 21 days until Chav Gimel Adar, and life started back for Ben Yisrael, but most Jews still were not in Eretz Yisrael. A year after, which is today, on Rosh Chodesh Av, Ezra HaSofer came to Yerushalayim. Ezra HaSofer was a Kohen, and he was a great grandson of Aaron HaKohen. I will talk more about this later. And we'll see that it's not a coincidence that he came today to Yerushalayim on this date, on Rosh Chodesh Av. He came from Bavel. He settled in Yerushalayim. He reinforced the Shemirat HaMitzvot, the performance of mitzvot, because unfortunately there were Jews who came from Bavel, but they brought with them their wives, and many of them had wives who were not even Jewish. He told them, this is not acceptable. And he tried to really teach them and coach them until finally, slow and slowly, the Jews did teshuvah. They let go of these women, and he's the one who established quite a few rules. He's the one who established the rules of reading the Torah from on Mondays and Thursdays, and so he really did a lot of good for Bnei Israel, and he encouraged more and more Jews to come to Eretz Israel. He was the last Navi. After he died, there was no more Nevuah. That's it. Then we learn in the history that Alexander the Great, Alexander Mogdon, he came to Yerushalayim. He wanted to conquer Yerushalayim. In his days was Shimon HaTzadik, the Kohen Gadol, and we'll talk about that around Hanukkah. So we see here that the Parsim, the Persians, did everything possible to stop the construction of the Bet HaMikdash, and they succeeded. And that's why Yirmiyahu said, Dov orevli, a bear is lying in wait. And the Aryeh was Bavel. Ari bamistarim. The Ari, the lion, is lying in hiding. So the Rashi Shon asks, what is the meaning of bamistarim, in hiding? There's something in hiding. There's some secret here. But what? So for us to understand what, we need to go back to the time of David HaMelech. For us to understand this sod, this secret. The Plishtim were constantly making wars against Bnei Israel, constantly, one war after another, one war after another. At one point, they were preparing for war, and they had Goliath the giant with them, and this giant would come every day at the top of the mountain, and he would every day call out and say, your God cannot do anything against me. I'm too powerful for him. Till the day that David came to the camp. That day he came to bring some food for his brothers and see how his brothers were doing. And David heard this, and David was horrified. How can this Rasha speak this way? And David heard that anyone, that Shaul was looking for a volunteer who was willing to go and fight against this giant, and he promised his daughter in marriage. David felt so horrified. He was so horrified. How can this Rasha speak this way? He went straight to Shaul and he said, I can fight this giant. Now, David was really short. And Shaul is looking at him. He's short. He looks like nothing really. And this giant is maybe 10 times David's size, if not more. So how? Shaul said no. Na'ar ata, you're a child. Vehu ish milchama min na'orav. And him, this giant, he is a man of war since his youth. There's no way that you can win against him. Now, David he felt that he had to tell Shaul something that happened to David that no one actually knew about. But David felt that he had to be able to fight the giant. What was that? So he told Shaul, said one day he was taking care of the sheep because David was a shepherd, and he saw that there was a lion with 2 cubs and a bear with 1 cub, and all these 5 animals came and they were able to grab a lamb from David. Now, David decided, I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to save that lamb from these animals, or else they're going to tear it apart. So David went after the animals. He felt he had such a surge of energy. He felt so powerful. And he realized this has to be only from Hashem. Hashem is giving me a message here. I've got to do this. And he really was able to fight, and he won. However, he killed the bear, but he did not kill the lion. He weakened, like he wounded the lion, but he didn't kill him. Why not? So the question is, we have two questions here. Why did David put himself in danger for the lamb? And number two, why didn't he kill the lion? If he killed the bear, so kill the lion too. Or why didn't he save the bear? So the Zera Shimshon says like this, that according to Kabbalah, David did not kill the lion, but he killed the bear, right? David understood that this was no ordinary fight. He felt there was some kind of message that was being given over to him, and he had to see it through. He had to move forward. The lamb represents, it was through Nevuah, and David understood. The lamb represented Am Yisrael, the Jewish nation. And the lion and the bear represent the nations who will rule over Bnei Israel. So the lion is Bavel, as we learned already. And David knew from Nevuah that Bnei Israel would be sinning in Bavel. And sinning also, not in Bavel, they would be sinning, right? And they would be deserving punishment. So David made a calculation. If he kills the lion, it means that Bavel would not be able to destroy the Beit HaMikdash at all. They wouldn't if David killed the lion. They would take away the power from Bavel to destroy the Beit HaMikdash. So what's going to happen? Hashem says, Shafachti et ka'asi et api al avanim. Hashem said, all my anger I will spill on the stones. It means let the Beit HaMikdash be destroyed, but at least Bnei Israel are going to be saved. So David realized, if I kill the lion, it means Beit HaMikdash is going to be standing there. Lion is not going to be able to kill it, to destroy it. But then Hashem is going to what? The punishment has to be given. So it means that Hashem is going to have to punish Bnei Israel and to destroy them. So David says, I'm not going to kill the lion. This way, let the lion destroy the Beit HaMikdash, but at least Bnei Israel will be saved. Then Paras, the bear, and Bnei Israel will be living under the rule of in Galut, in Paras. Galut itself is already a kapara for Haverot. So David understood there's no need for the bear to stay alive, because Bnei Israel will be already be punished in Galut. So let the bear be destroyed, and that's why he killed the bear. This way David killed any prospect for the bear to continue harming Bnei Israel. And Be'ezrat Hashem, let's see that this time also, Paras will not be able to do any harm to Bnei Israel. There were two people, Chachamim teach us, there were actually four people who were given hints and messages from Shamayim, but only two understood the message and moved forward accordingly. One was David and one was Mordechai. When Esther was taken, he understood that there had to be a reason why Esther was chosen to be the queen. The other two people, some other time I'll speak about. However, I told you I was going to come back to Ezra HaSofer. Today is the Yotzeit, the Nachala, the Arayat of Aaron HaKohen. Zochuto Yagelan Alenu. We know that Aaron HaKohen was a big champion of peace between husband and wife, between friends and family, whatever. He always was a big champion of peace. Ezra Sofer, when he came to Eretz Israel, and he was the Kohen Gadol, he arrived in Eretz Israel today on Rosh Chodesh Av. And that's no coincidence, because Ezra Sofer was the great grandson of Aaron HaKohen. Not only his grandson, but he was also his Gilgul. He had the neshama of Aaron HaKohen. Seems, maybe some other time I'll speak about this, seems that Aaron HaKohen still had some tikkun, some damage that had to be fixed, and it was Ezra Sofer. So his neshama of Aaron came into the body of Ezra Sofer, and Ezra Sofer completed the tikkun, the fixing of the damage. So may the zechut of Aaron HaKohen and Ezra Sofer, may their zechut protect us and bless us with shalom, as Aaron was so well known to look for shalom. And in the zechut of the shiur, may Hashem bless us all with bracha, atzlacha, simcha, nachat, beriut, shalom, zivugim, vechol tov. And may we see Mashiach soon. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon.